Hi, it's Storm from Ninja Bunny Crochet. Today I have for us to do this crochet hook holder. It's made with a mason jar, and then we make a cozy over the top. Now you can put your crochet hooks in it, you can put pencils in it or pens in it. I made one also for my husband, and he uses his for pens and pencils, and he puts it on his desk at work. So let's drop the camera down and we'll talk about the yarn, the hook, and anything else that you need to make this crochet hook holder. One of the first things you'll need is one of these mason jars. This is a 12-ounce mason jar, just a regular old canning jar that you'd use to make jelly or pickles or anything like that. Just a plain old mason jar. And then you'll need some scrap yarn. You won't need a lot of yarn, about an ounce of yarn or 50-60 yards of yarn. This is just some Red Heart Super Saver yarn that I had left over. And a H 5.0 millimeter hook. Today I'm going to be using my Clover Amour hook. You're going to need a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and a pair of scissors. And if you have some trouble finding the end of a round or the beginning of the round, you're going to want to have a stitch marker or two on hand just in case. So once you have all of your supplies, let's get started. Before I get into today's tutorial, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that little button down in the corner there with my picture on it. That'll automatically subscribe you to my channel. And if you don't want to miss any of my videos, go ahead and ring that bell. That'll notify you whenever I upload a video. And if you like content like this, please give it a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like my videos. Now to start the crochet hook holder, we're going to start with a magic ring. Now if the magic ring is not your cup of tea, or you just don't know how to make one, I have a link in the description box below to my video on how to make a magic ring. But if you really just don't get it, you can go ahead and start with a slip knot on your hook. And we'll just do that right here. And start with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch to that first chain that you made and form a ring. And you're going to do a chain 1. And then you're going to put your first round all right into the center of that ring. And that's how you'll start. But today I'm going to start with a magic ring. And how I do my magic ring is I lay my yarn over my first 2 fingers, wrap it around, form an X, slip it under that bottom yarn, grab, pull through, twist, grab the yarn, and form a chain stitch. And there's our magic ring. We're going to start with 6 single crochets all into the center of the ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and pull that ring closed. Count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slip stitch to join. If you're doing the chain 4 method, same thing, you're just going to slip stitch to join. And that's our first round. Let me just bring that camera down a little bit more. To start round 2, chain 1. And we're going to put 2 single crochets into each stitch. So right into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, we're going to put 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and then 2 into each stitch around. 1, 2, get into the next one, 1, and 2. And you're just going to continue that all the way around till you get back to the beginning. And we're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made. I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 2. We now have 12 stitches, 12 single crochets. We're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made. To start round 3, chain 1, and single crochet right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into. And then we're going to put 2 single crochets into the next stitch. 1 and 2. 1 single crochet into the next. And 2 single crochets into the next. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. 1 single, 2 singles, 1 single, 2 singles. So please repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 3. We now have 18 single crochets. To start round 4, we're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made, chain 1, and we're going to single crochet right back into that same stitch and single crochet into the next stitch. 2 single crochets into the next, and single crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and 2 single crochets into the next. 1 and 2. Single crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and 2 single crochets into the next. 1, 2. So that's our repeat all the way around. 1 single, 2 singles. 1 single, 2 singles. Please repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. I'm at the end of row 4. We now have 24 stitches. To start row 5, we're going to slip stitch to that first single that we made, chain 1, and we're going to single right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, and single into the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and 2 singles into the next. 1, 2. We're going to repeat that, so single in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 2 singles into the next. 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 singles into the next. 1, 2. So that's our repeat all the way around. 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2. So please repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 5. We now have 30 stitches. To start round 6, we're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made, chain 1, and we're going to single right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, and single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and 2 single crochets into the next. 1, 2. And we're going to repeat that, so we're going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2 single crochets into the next. 1, 2. So that's our repeat all the way around. 1, 1, 1, 1, and 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, and 2. So please repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 6. We now have 36 stitches. We're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made. So chain 1. This will start round 7. Before we go too much further though, let's go ahead and weave in our tail from our magic ring. Now if you did the chain 4 method, you can go ahead and do this too. You may have a little bit of a hole that you gotta sew closed, but that's okay too. You can go ahead and do that. But since this will be on the inside of our jar cover, we want to, or our crochet hook cover, we want to go ahead, or holder cover, whatever you want to call it, we want to go ahead and get that done now. Let's try to put one across here. If we can get it in. I mean, I'm not too worried about this coming undone since this is not a wearable item, so it's not going to get a lot of tugging on. Which is why I don't mind using a magic ring on an item that's not a wearable item, because I've found that magic rings sometimes will come undone. But if it's not a wearable item, I don't mind so much using the magic ring. I've just found magic rings tend to come undone when you're doing a wearable item. So I've switched from doing magic rings to the chain 4 when it's a wearable item. Okay, now we can go on to round 7. This round we're going to be doing in the back loop only. And in case you're unfamiliar, let me grab that yarn needle again, what your back loop and your front loops are. The loops closest to you right here are your front loops. So these are your front loops, and these are your back loops. So we're going to work just in these back loops for this round only. And that first stitch right here, if you have trouble getting into that back loop only on that one, that's okay. You can go through both loops, but try to get the back loop of that stitch that you just slip stitched into. But if you can't, that's okay. So we're going to do a single crochet into each of the back loops. And it's going to form this little ridge. You can see right here it's forming a little ridge. That's what we want. So just put one single crochet into each one of those back loops all the way around. And I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 7. We still have 36 stitches. We're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made. To start round 8, we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. That chain 3 will count as our first stitch, so it counts as double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the next stitch, so we're not going into that join stitch because this chain 3 counts as that stitch. We're going to go into this next one right here, and we're going to double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, so we're skipping this one, and we're going to go into this one here and double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the next stitch. Careful not to split that yarn. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. It's chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet, double crochet. So please repeat that all the way around to get back to the beginning, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 8. We now have 24 double crochet, because remember that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. We're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3 to complete the round. To start round 9, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, and single crochet into the next stitch, and into that chain space, single crochet, and then into the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to come up to a chain space, and we're going to single crochet into the chain space. You can single crochet into that chain, but I find it much easier just to single crochet into the chain space. And single crochet into the next 2 stitches, then into the chain space, into the next 2 stitches, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. So into the chain space, single crochet, and into the next 2 stitches. So continue working single crochet all the way around to get back to the beginning, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. I've come all the way back around to the end, and don't forget this last chain space before the end of the round to single crochet in it. You should have 36 single crochets. You're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made to finish up the round. Now from round 10 to 17, we're just going to repeat rounds 8 and 9 4 more times. So you're going to do round 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9 till you get to round 17, and you should be ending with round 9. So please repeat those rounds 4 more times, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of round 17. So we finished up round 17, and we still have 36 single crochets. To start round 18, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the same stitch that we just slip stitched into. And then we're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. So insert in the hook, insert into the stitch, pull up a loop, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. So we're going to repeat that. So we're going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. So insert, pull up a loop, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. So we're going to keep repeating that all the way around. So it's single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then single crochet 2 together. Insert, pull up a loop, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So please repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 18. We now have 30 stitches. We're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made to start round 19, chain 1, and single crochet back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, and single crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and single crochet the next 2 stitches together. Again, insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through all 3 loops. So we're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and then single crochet the next 2 stitches together. And that's our repeat all the way around. Is single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and single crochet the next 2 stitches together. So please repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. So we're at the end of round 19. We're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet that we made, and we're going to go ahead and fasten off. And let's get our scissors. And we're just going to turn this inside out for a second, just so we can weave in this tail. If you haven't already done the bottom, you can do that right now. Just weave in your tail. Just want to make sure you get that nice and secure. Weave it in a couple of different directions so it won't pop out. Should have popped out of my yarn needle here. A little bit, and then I believe it'll be nice and secure. Just like that. And then you can turn it right side out, and it'll be all ready to go onto the mason jar. Sorry about that, didn't mean to tilt the camera all weird on you. So now we got it turned right side out, and we can just slip it right on our jar. And take the top off. Now let me just slide my laptop back there and get things all out of the way. And of course my crochet hook comes sliding back. So it's going to be a little bit snugger on the bottom there because we have it so it'll fit the top, just like that. And then you can put your hooks inside. So if you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring that bell. Thanks for watching, and happy crocheting! Bye-bye!